And I would like to welcome him to give a speech to you guys. So y'all give a round of applause for Shaheen Rashad.
Thank you. He already messed up. I'm actually at him, not her. So, good afternoon, everybody. For those of you who know me, you'll probably be surprised if I say, wow, I'm at a loss of words. No, I'm just playing. So, I want to tell you the history of Project Save Our Sons. I'm one of the original founders of Project Save Our Sons, along with a man, he's not here today, named Sufu Hashem, and Salima Bey, who is out here, and many of you know already. So the vision of Save Our Sons originally started with Sufu, and it started in Boston, in Springfield, Mass. And it started originally for Muslims to help Muslim youth. At the time, there were a lot of Muslim youth who were getting caught up into a lot of things in the streets, gangs, drugs, using drugs. A lot of them were becoming incarcerated. And upon coming home, parole would have them sent to places where Christianity was practiced, and they needed to practice Christianity or they would be sent back to prison. So from this original thought, Sufu, who was an Islamic chaplain in a couple of maximum security prisons, decided that he needed to create an organization to help Muslims. But soon thereafter, in speaking, myself, Sufu, and Salima Bey, we realized that if we isolate ourselves and just make it for Muslims, then we'll never have any success. See, the problem that was going on in the streets was that too many people were isolating themselves. In Boston, it was DeVille wanted to isolate themselves against this project.
Hey.
And so what happens is when people isolate themselves, they end up taking pride in who they think they are, what they think they are, and it actually perpetuates more violence. So we decided that we needed to come forth and do this for everybody. So in the beginning, it was rough. Sufu was, they tolerated Sufu. They didn't like me at all. So that left Salima Bey. And so what Salima did is he started going out and he started finding programs that actually paid the individuals that were in this program. There's an individual that's here right now. He is actually one of the first members of Save Our Sons. So in the beginning, it was like a skeleton. There was nothing there. It was just a lot of whims, a lot of hopes, a lot of prayers, a lot of sweat. But Sufu never gave up. I don't have a lot of patience, so there were many times that I became impatient. But the one common denominator was Salima Bey. And every day she would come to us and there were new openings. She was finding jobs for individuals in places like Sears and JCPenney's and places like this. Now that doesn't sound like a lot. But when you're offering to give somebody hope, but the only thing you have to give them hope, after a while, that falls on deaf ears. So in the last couple of years, I noticed that Save Our Sons started picking up speed and it started getting a lot of name for its sake here in Binghamton.
Kingston,
and
lay
so
down.
Forth, because the individuals who are doing it now, we're all family anyway, so it kind of made sense. So what could I sit here and say to you today that anybody hasn't already said, that you haven't already heard? I spent 10 years in a maximum security prison, and when I came home, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm a convicted felon. I didn't know anything. I never had any job or anything. The only thing I knew was being in the streets. But there's one thing that I knew in the last year and a half of my incarceration. If I ever get out of here, I'm never coming back. But how do you do that? I have to eat. I gotta live. I got self-esteem.
Hey.
Well, actually that move didn't happen until I started changing myself, until I came to Binghamton. Because at the time, Binghamton had one thing to offer that is still here. And not enough people take advantage of it.
Lay down.
And it's called education. So I started out at Broome Community College, and there were a lot of people in my circle that would say, man, you can't do this, you're this and you're that. I graduated with honors. I went to BU. You're not going to be able to do this. You're just a convicted felon. You're this and you're that. So I graduated from honors with there as well. So a couple years ago, I got my master's in counseling psychology, and now I'm trying to give back to the community. I'm back in Boston and Springfield because that's home to me. In order for this to work, we all have to work at one. And I know that sounds like a cliche because it is. But one thing I've learned in my job is that cliches are actually real. I can sit here and offer all kinds of hope, but at the end of the day, if there's no programs to give back, to help people become educated, to take advantage of their education, to find money, to help us to work, to better ourselves, then I can't tell somebody to leave the streets. So with that said, I know that there's an upcoming election, and this isn't about, I'm not doing this for an election thing. When I was at BU, I created a program. I went to the mayor, Matt Ryan was the mayor at the time, and I wanted to create a program to help prisoners when they come home because I wanted to curb recidivism. In fact, my master's doctorate is based upon recidivism. So they allowed me to work with this program to help individuals who came home or were on parole, and a lot of people were successful.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I thank you guys for bearing with us. The Diamond, the national anthem lady, has to take a brief break. She'll be back in 5 minutes, and we're going to start in about 5 minutes. So thank you guys for your participation and your patience.
And when do we want it? Now! 1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! 1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! What do we want? Peace! And when do we want it? Now! What do we want? Peace! And when do we want it? Now! 1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! 1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! 1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! Hey, what do y'all want, man? Peace! And when do we want it?
Now!
What do y'all want? Peace! And when do we want it?
Now!
1, 2, 3. Stop the violence! 1, 2, 3.
Stop the violence!
1, 2, 3.
Stop the violence!
What do y'all really want? Peace! And when do y'all really want it?
Now!
Right now? Right now! Right now?
Right now!
Right now?
Right now!
What do y'all want?
Peace!
And when do y'all want it? Now! 1, 2, 3. Puerto Rican, orange, green, purple. It doesn't matter what you are. Christian, Muslim, Jewish, anything. Even if you don't believe in God. We want you here to create a difference in our community. So what do we want?
Peace!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Peace!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
on.
Y'all stay down. That's going to be the chance.
Peace! Now! Peace! Now! Peace! Now! Peace! Now! Yeah, I thought he wanted to pet him at first.
We are actually starting the march as of right now, you guys. Y'all give it up for the Dover City Band. Dover City Band, y'all give it up for them. They're going to sing us a beautiful song. We're with them because it's over forward, and they actually have to get on the tour bus to go to New Jersey right after this. So we are literally wasting their time. Thank you.
Shut up.
Can y'all listen up, everybody?
Everyone, when we have like 5 rows.
All right, can everybody listen up? Everybody listen up, please. Please, everybody listen up. We're about to start the march. Once again, everybody please stay behind the sign. The guys that's walking up here, they're gonna walk slow.
Yo, join in, guys. Come on. Save the kids. Walk with us.
Yeah, I know who that is.
5-minute walk, man.
Hey, can you guys turn around?
Yeah.
You guys, thank
Ready?
you. Turn around. Hey, y'all spin around this time. We're not marching yet. We got about 5 minutes and we're going to start. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. I appreciate everybody. Hey, we are not getting in front of the sign. The sign is going to be in front the whole time. As slow as they walk, that's how it's going to be. You guys can walk that way. Do not go up in front of the sign. Everybody's going to march together. And the sign, the people that have the sign is going to stay in front at the whole time. Thank you guys again. Hey. This is very important. Hey, can everybody listen up, please? This is very important. Everybody listen up. We have Dami and her friend, the Nova City Band. They are going to actually... Everybody, thank y'all for your participation. We're going to start. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for your participation. Everybody, we're going to get about maybe 15 minutes or so. 15 minutes or so, maybe 15, 20 minutes, we're all going to start. I appreciate everybody to get behind the banner to where we can all march together in unison. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for showing up.
Come on.
Come on, people. Save the kids.
Stop the violence.
Baby. You get any?
Turn around. I'll beat you. Oh.
What up? How you doing? How you?
I didn't ask him. He called me on myself.
Researches any building that anyone proposes to do a change with. You're doing really good. I'm proud of you.
Doggy, I like doggy.
Come on.
Yes. I was scared there for a minute. We pull up and there's only like 8 people standing
Nope.
Come on. Well, we're going to be out. She's spread out a long way. Yeah, we're.
Come on. What up, Ike?
I'd like to say that I appreciate the opportunity and privilege to speak in front of all you. I do consider myself an activist, but I have to tell you I've never done this before, and these speakers are like amazing, and I'm kind of jealous that I have to read and they don't. I think it's extremely important to talk about violence. Pretending it doesn't exist is the worst thing you can do. This is why certain movements and events like this exist. I won't take long. I'd like to start with reading a lyric from Tracy Chapman. Last night I heard the screaming, loud voices behind the wall. Another sleepless night for me, it won't do no good to call. The police always come late if they come at all. Last night I heard the screaming, then a silence that chilled my soul. I prayed that I was dreaming when I saw the ambulance in the road, and the policeman said, I'm here to keep the peace. Can the crowd disperse? I think we all could use some sleep. Those are Tracy Chapman's words. From behind the wall, the street, sheer lack of character that it takes to physically, mentally, or emotionally attack a person you propose to love. The malicious intent on harming them spiritually to demean a person you say you love shows incredible lack of character and weakness beyond most. Now, the victims of domestic abuse are not only the ones who are affected by the results of violence in the home, of course, the children, the sisters, the brothers, the mothers, the fathers, the cousins, friends, the co-workers of the abused and the abuser also are affected by the mistreatment. Your pets suffer, mornings are met with regret. Absolute uncertainty cloaks every occasion. The overall mentality and quality of life is penalized for everyone involved. Innocence is broken. I feel you cannot turn a blind eye to domestic abuse. I feel it is everyone who has knowledge of the situation's responsibility to stand up against it. Standing up and addressing the issue of domestic violence, facing it, and the willingness to help someone in need stand up in the face of hatred is the only solution, the only remedy to the sickness. A man hits a woman hits a man. Angrily, an adult imposes frustration with a child through striking said child. That child now understands the impact of that violence. A child hits his way through to convey his point through violence. The mentality of the household breeds the human that interacts society. And that goes in all directions. You can't pinpoint what type of person will come from a household of hatred. Just as you cannot guarantee that monetary fortune will improve the mentality of the person, money does not dictate the happiness of the household, but happiness can. Happiness isn't free either. It's a cost involved understanding, caring, and self-awareness. And these attributes demand the cost of effort. A lot of effort, balanced effort, safety. The need for safety inside the home isn't an obvious, it's a necessary assurance that is vastly overlooked. At what point does the abused look in the mirror and tell her or himself that this isn't love? That the current state of affairs is not better for the children? When does the abused move past being a victim and become a survivor? I've seen the impact of many different types of domestic abuse and many, many victims. I only wish I saw as many remedies, solutions, and survivors of domestic abuse. Far too many never find the way past victimhood. I pledge myself and my partner who is here with me today, I pledge that we will be a part of any solution that helps someone recover and avoid domestic violence by any means. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want everybody to relax and just lend me your heart and your ears, all right? This poem is called Stop the Violence. Violence versus vigilance. Violence versus persistence. I think I speak for the crowd when I say violence is a sickness. Yet, let this march be our witness that we will no longer allow violence to make us helpless and defenseless. Defenseless from emptiness and pain. Defenseless from being able to hear your loved ones call out your name. Defenseless from sorrow. Defenseless from loving your loved ones today, but not knowing if they will be alive tomorrow. Let's stop the violence. Let's listen to this mother's plea. How a brother lost a brother to a violent spree. How a father lost his son, a legacy to his tree. A community devastated with grief, about as vast as the sea. As you grieve, we grieve. As you believe, we believe. Let's stop the violence. As you march, we march. As you stand, we stand. Thou shalt not kill is a covenant, but it's also a command. Let's stop the violence. Let's end this endless cycle of destruction and defiance. With unity and compliance, we can steer hearts and minds away from guns and drugs to computers and science. Let's raise a nation of stars, not gangsters. Let's stop the violence. Sometimes that means reflecting from within our own silence. Let's stop the violence. As I poetically combine this poem and speech, I want us to focus on our individual self. Not in a selfish sense, but more in a self-reflecting sense. Understanding that violence and destruction go hand in hand. It's our mission and focus to try to bring awareness to this violent destruction. That in order for me to be strong, I need you to be strong. That in order for you to rise, I need us to rise. We are a community that has been afflicted with tremendous tragedy. Loved ones lost due to senseless confrontation, others lost due to self-infliction. I plead to the inner souls in its ranks. Let us be the chain and the link that breaks the cycle. Let us stand up and rise against the violence in our community, be it physical or self-inflicted. Violence versus vigilance. Violence versus persistence. I think I speak for the crowd when I say violence is a sickness. We see it through words, guns, and even prescriptions. Be that fact or fiction, I plead to the very souls in this audience to listen. That peace, love, and unity is the very cure to this sickness. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless.
But I just want to say that that was not an anomaly. What happened in November was the logical culmination of decades of how we've allowed politics and democracy to turn to political theater, right? Where we seem to care more about performance than policy. That what's elevated more is imagery than ideas. Sound bites govern, not solutions. We can't even judge our candidates anymore on their integrity, on their compassion, and their experience. Instead, they're kind of neatly packaged and presented to us like brands, Pepsi or Coke. This comes at tremendous cost, and I'm going to be very clear, Democrats have played the game too, and for far too long. But when we allow democracy to transform and mutate to political theater, it culminates logically in the election of a billionaire reality TV star who turned out to be a complete fraud, right? I bet you don't hear a lot of mayoral candidates talk like this. I'm not your typical candidate, but that's the point, right? I'm done with that politics. The current mayor, he might be candidate perfectly suited for the politics of today, but I'm running for Binghamton to work with you to lead Binghamton into the politics of tomorrow. All right? I have some volunteers over here. We got some volunteer sign-up sheets. We got some registration forms. Folks, as it's been said before, when we organize, when we mobilize, we win, right? Community through unity. I hope to see you out there the rest of the campaign. And even if I don't win the mayor's office, I'm still going to be working alongside with you on our shared values. Thank you.
Amen.
Director. That was beautiful. I want to thank the Project Save Our Daughters. That's cutting out, huh? Am I speaking too loud? All right. That was a test of how flexible I am in the face of challenges. Pretty good. Having dealt with 3 flood recoveries, I've had some experience. It really is a pleasure to be here, and y'all have done an amazing job recruiting community, coming together. You've also must have done something wonderful because you have both Batman and Spider-Man here. So you got a lot of support. It is a pleasure to be back here at this park. When I worked for Matt Ryan, great years of something that always come down here and find ways in which we can invest in the neighborhood, in the community, in the places where you send your children to play, in the streets in which you're dealing with blight and vacancy. We were always committed to try to find those ways to address your solutions and build up your neighborhoods and breathe life back into them. For the last 3 years, I born and raised here, and I still live here with my son and my family. But I've been working for a national nonprofit organization called Center for Community Progress. So it takes me to communities all over the country. And we're an organization that focuses on helping communities deal with vacancy and blight and how to turn around distressed neighborhoods. Whether it's Flint, Michigan, Gary, Indiana, Toledo, High Point, North Carolina, Mobile, Alabama, Miami Gardens, I can tell you that there's some very common characteristics in all the neighborhoods that I'm asked to help turn around. They're all communities of color. That is where we've seen decades of disinvestment, decades of racist policy. But you know, a couple years ago, there was some research done that the median wealth of a white household was $140,000. This is across the country. Does somebody want to guess what the median wealth of a black household is? Anybody? Very close. $11,800. That's not coincidence. That's systemic injustice. That's racist policies over decades in which we've deprived entire communities of opportunity. That's exactly the kind of approach I want to bring back to Binghamton in service to my hometown, where we can speak honestly and truthfully about the challenges we face in our community, where we can work together to solve our challenges. I know that the current mayor has basically dismantled the youth bureau in his first year. We had set that up. We had started programming all over the city. We turned an empty police station on the north side into a center in which youth are given hope and opportunity. We've done that systematically throughout the city. When I was serving, I've done it before, and as your mayor, working with you, I'll do it again. This mayor thinks that the only approach to the challenges in which we're losing so many youth to gangs and violence is more cops on the street. That's not my approach. It's again investing in our youth and providing them opportunities, providing them positive mentoring opportunities. It's dealing with the challenges they face in housing that shouldn't even be habitable. Folks that are being kicked out of apartments and having to switch schools 3 times a year. How is a child supposed to succeed with that? I've worked on these issues before, and with your help and your support, I'll do it again. The last thing I just want to make clear to everybody is that I am not afraid to say that this is a campaign about love. Thank you.
Hello. Ooh, I like that. That's nice. Oh, yeah. Good afternoon. Let me find it. Good afternoon. Okay, there we go. So, good afternoon, everybody. First off, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the brothers and sisters from Project Save Our Sons and Daughters for inviting me out to speak. I've been in the Binghamton community now, in August will be 11 years. I came up here as a student. I went to BU. I spent a little too much time downtown. And I finally got out and I stayed because something about Binghamton felt like home. So it's awkward for me right now because I don't view my home in a negative light, but I know negative things can happen in my home. Some of us understand this very well. And so, you know, This morning I woke up and a friend of mine, no one can find her right now, and they're very worried that she may harm herself. So it's funny to me that we're speaking about violence, and to piggyback off what so many of these brilliant people have said already, violence comes in so many different forms. So before I really get into what I want to say to you, I'm going to read this definition of violence. According to Merriam-Webster, violence can be the use of physical force so as to injure, abuse, damage, or destroy. Injury, by or as if by distortion, infringement, or profanation. Intense, turbulent, or furious and often destructive action or force. Violence. So, if we're going to stop violence, we have to look at violence in all its forms. If I tell my child they cannot achieve something, that is violence. If I tell my intimate partner what they can or cannot do, that is violence. If I am put in charge of people and I tell my constituents they do not matter, that is violence. If I knowingly create a system in which select people are deemed invaluable, disposable, and easy to be destroyed, that is violence. So how do we stop violence? We stop violence by not being isolated, like the brother said. The other day, I met the brothers from Project Save Our Sons and Daughters, and I brought up an experiment. It's a psychology experiment. It's called Rat Park. So a psychologist said we need to test drugs and addiction patterns of behavior. So they put rats in a cage, and they gave them regular water and water with drugs. And the rats drank all the waters with the drugs until they died. So another scientist saw this experiment and said, I don't like that outcome. I feel your variables are wrong. So he created a park that had everything a rat could ever want. Food, water, other rats, toys, everything. And he put the rats in it, same as before, with the water, clean water, drug water. No rats touched the drug water. Because see, it's not us, it's the cage. It's the cage. Because human beings don't live in cages. We are not meant to be isolated and alone from each other. We are meant to be together, to support, to speak to each other. Think about this. All of us know millions of community organizers and organizations, but very seldom do we share and pool our resources because we've been split apart and divided through violence, through economic violence, through state-sanctioned violence, through social violence. Because if I tell you I only got $10,000 and you need 9, but they need 5, why can't we find that remainder? Why is it that I have to destroy and tear down my brother so I can do something when we cannot build together? If I say, well, you'll succeed in this class if I eliminate this person and send them to go sit in ISCs, or to go right down the street and get a worksheet, or play on the computer for an hour so you can have your education at the sacrifice of that person's education, that's violence. If I say, the only way I can run this city is by tearing down another man who only wants to see this city progress, instead of saying, you know what, win, lose, or draw, if you have good ideas, I like them, then I'm being violent. Yeah, that was a sub. I don't care. Man down. Because you know what? We have been perpetually in a state of violence in this community. Whether it be through narratives calling our children animals and criminals, whether it be narratives saying everyone is poor and on DSS instead of saying everyone needs support and help and better jobs, whether it's a narrative that, oh yeah, everyone's just a drug dealer and a drug addict. No, that is not true. Let's talk about the fact that we are not providing mental health services. correct rehabilitation services, correct training on how to deal with drug influences. Because see, a wise man once said, it is easier to raise strong children than fix broken men. But if I strategically destroy your children before they've had the chance to even been invested in, and I sit as an adult in a room full of people and refuse to stand for those children, I am violent. So, I'm gonna go back, since I used the definition, to a wise person, Malcolm X. He said, violence. I'm not violent, but I ain't no fool neither. So if you are violent towards me, I will defend myself. So you know what? Since we're dealing with all these different levels of violence, here's how we defend ourselves. We come together and form up on our own. We make ourselves present in the schools, in the school boards, in the city councils, I don't care if we're talking about garbage collection. We need to be there. We need to register. We need to go out and join these neighborhood assemblies. Because if 5 people is making the decisions for 500, guess what? We're suffering because nobody knows what we're dealing with. So, we got an election coming up. I ain't gonna tell you who to vote for or how to use your vote, but know that your vote is power, your vote is leverage. And some of y'all live in communities where if you got all your neighbors registered, mobilized, and ready to go, you could control every single cent. Every single cent that moves through this town. Not a developer, not an institution, but the people. So, with that said, thank you again to Project Saves Our Sons and Daughters. Because this is the people saying we're going to do for us. Thank you again to everyone who came out this beautiful Saturday and walked down that street with their head held high and say, I am here for peace. I am here for better. And I am here for change. And thank you to everyone who continues to fight for the people. Have a good one.
Again, please. Next, we have a young lady. She's a community activist that would like to come up and actually do a poem for you guys. Give it up for Trina.
Hello everybody. My name is Katrina Guerrero. I was actually going to do a poem for you and speak about the violence that I've experienced in my life, but I kind of wanted to change that all up, and I don't really want to talk about violence, actually. I want to talk about peace, because if you keep talking about violence, that's all you're going to get. So if you keep it peaceful, I guess the world will be more peaceful. So, like many of you might have experienced violence in your life, so have I. I've been on both sides of that spectrum. But talking about the painful past won't change anything. What's more important is the light that came after the darkness. The truth that I'm able to live after so many lies. When you face difficult times, know that challenges are not sent to destroy you. They're sent to promote, to increase, to strengthen you, to awaken that sleeping person inside of you. Trusting the universe and its timing, even in the midst of destruction, is a must. From the midst of destruction, I became the creator of my true self. From the midst of darkness, I became my own source of light. That's why I don't want to come up here and speak of anything negative. I've learned that what you put out in this world, even in the subconscious mind, comes into reality. I was dumbfounded, thinking, wondering, what have I done so bad in life to deserve what happened to me? But I finally took responsibility. I stopped blaming others and blamed myself. I can't blame the person who threw me down the stairs anymore. I must only blame myself. I became very aware of self once people come to that conclusion that they are the only ones to blame for the destruction in their own lives. You become aware and able to break that cycle. The law of attraction is real. So if you're anti-war, then be pro-peace instead. If you're anti-hunger, then be pro people having enough to eat. If you're anti-politician or certain politician, then be pro his opponent. And if you're anti-violence, then be pro-harmony. We can all stop violence if we become aware of self. We cannot blame others or tell others to stop violence if we haven't stopped it within ourselves. So everyone make that change within self, within your home, within your own life, and you'll see the difference and impact we can make within the community. Thank you so much.
It says each time a person stands for an appeal or acts to improve the lives of others or strikes out for justice,